Swadika, welcome to the Nation Daily with Tulip. This is for December 14, 2023. Former Prime Minister Thaksin has been admitted to the police hospital for nearly 4 months. Despite public curiosity about his medical condition, the hospital insists that they can only disclose information to the family and the Department of Corrections. The Asian Development Bank has lowered its economic forecast for Thailand in 2023 from 3.5% growth to 2.5%, citing export contraction, reduced government spending, and lower investment from both the public and private sectors. The Expressway Authority of Thailand has unveiled a 10-year plan to build 200 kilometers of new expressway and cut 30% of greenhouse gas emissions by 2030 to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. Neilson Hays Library celebrates UNESCO recognition for its restoration effort on a 100-year-old building. The project took 2 years to complete with a budget of 10 million baht funded by donors. And Bangkokians will get a chance to enjoy the enchanting beauty of the capital's temples at night as they prepare for a spiritually enhanced journey into the new year. Now, let's start with the news that I think a lot of people just very curious to know what's going on, because former Prime Minister Thaksin has been at the police hospital on 14th floor since August. It's almost 4 months now, and people want to know how is he doing, whether he's going to come out, whether he's going to go back to the prison, is he really sick or he is doing better and whatnot. And the hospital spokesperson said that there are many organizations that submitted the letters to the hospital, wants to know his medical conditions, but they can't share it. It is actually the right of the family member to decide what to share or to share it or not at all. And they can only give this information to the Department of Corrections and to the family members of Thaksin only. The hospital spokesperson said that there are also a standard procedure and time frame of the report that the hospital has to submit to the Corrections Department regarding the update of the patients. And she emphasized a thorough assessment of conditions for every case by both the hospital and the Corrections Department to decide whether any patient will be transferred back to the prison or not, or will have to still stay at the hospital. Thaksin was transferred to the 14th floor of Police General Hospital on the night of August 22nd, just only hours, like few hours after being moved to Central Prison. Next story, let's talk about the economy of Thailand, because the Asian Development Bank just gave out the latest forecast of Thailand economic growth, downgraded from 3.5% to 2.5%, citing export contraction, reduced government spending, and lower investment from both the public and private sectors. The ADB also revised down its forecast for the Thai economy next year from 3.7% to 3.3% due to the global economic slowdown. However, it raised the forecast for developing economies in Asia and Pacific region as a whole to 4.9% after robust domestic demand drove higher than expected growth in China and India. The bank reported that developing Asia's outlook remains upbeat despite global challenges. It predicts inflation in the region will decline from 4.4% last year to 3.5% this year. Downside risks are mainly associated with higher for longer interest rates in advanced economies, which could trigger financial instability. Next story, will come back to carbon neutrality, the idea of we should do something for sustainability to deal with the climate change and whatnot. And this is the way from the Expressway Authority of Thailand said that they have been helping somehow contribute to this plan to meet with the carbon neutrality plan of the country, because the Expressway Authority of Thailand has been building all this expressway for the 51 years, and all those expressway, highway actually help reduce the carbon emission into the air. So the EXAT, or the Expressway Authority of Thailand, has unveiled its 10-year plan that it will build 200 kilometers of new expressway and cut 30% of greenhouse gas emissions by 2030 to achieve carbon neutrality by year 2050. They said, for example, in 2024, EXAT plans to extend Chalong Rat Expressway by 16.2 kilometers to connect with Hatay Rat Road and relieve traffic congestion in Bangkok's eastern suburbs. The governor said that the agency was committed to combating climate change and achieving sustainable development goals. It has built over 224 kilometers of expressway routes since its establishment 51 years ago, and that can translate it into a reduction of greenhouse gas emission via traffic of 400,000 tons per year. That is actually a lot. It is also implementing changes within its organization to cut greenhouse gas, including switching to LED lamps and electric vehicles and installing solar panels on office buildings and toll booths. Anything help. Anything a little bit here and there or a lot would also help. It's better than doing nothing at all. Next story, we will go to one of the, I would say, iconic building of Bangkok, which is Neilson Hays Library. Several years back, it just finished its restoration projects. It took 2 years to finish with a lot of funding from donors, and finally it got recognized by UNESCO for its restoration efforts. So Neilson Hays Library celebrates UNESCO recognition for its restoration efforts on a 100-year-old building. The project took 2 years to complete with a budget of 10 million baht funded by donors. The historic building, constructed in 1922 by Italian architect, is Thailand's first community library and possibly the first English language and certainly the first woman-led library in the Southeast Asian region. The restoration carried out from 2016 to 2018 received an award of distinction at the UNESCO Asia Pacific Awards for Cultural Heritage Conservation.
It is a recognition that our restoration project of this historical building was done properly and not technically only, but also with the cultural context and the history of the library in mind. We feel thankful that UNESCO has recognized the hard work we've done.
Nalin mentioned that the challenging part of the restoration project was finding funding when they began, because 10 million baht seems like a big amount for such a small building. And another part of the challenge is that the technical part of it, because the building was built like 100 years ago, there is no blueprint for it. So all the experts in this project have to spend a lot of time researching to make sure they get it right. It came out beautifully. Next, we will still stay in Bangkok because Bangkokian will get a chance to enjoy the enchanting beauty of the capital's temples at night. There will be 10 temples together in this project in the event called Illuminated 10 Temples and National Museum. This event, organized by the Department of Religious Affairs by the Culture Ministry. It runs from Christmas Eve to January 2nd. The 10 participating temples and Bangkok National Museum will switch on the lights from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So it will be the time if you want to go out at night in the old part of town in Bangkok. We told you just a couple of days ago, there's some illumination lighting event in Ratchadamnern Road and surrounding area. This is also another project that coincides with that. So if you have time at night in Bangkok, just go drive around. I'm sure you will have very good time, and the weather is getting better. And that's a wrap for this edition of the Nation Daily. For more news, you can check out our website nationthailand.com or check our social media. We have X, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. สวัสดีค่ะ